Nancy Cordes joins me now from Capitol Hill. So Nancy, we saw in your story there seems to be a bit of confusion among the senators as to what exactly they will be voting on today. What is Mitch McConnell's plan? Can you give us any more insight?
Well, so here's how things would normally work, Anne-Marie. For legislative reasons, because they're using this reconciliation process that allows them to get by with just 51 votes instead of 60, what you would normally need to do is bring over the bill that the House passed back in May, and then senators would be allowed to offer unlimited amendments to change it any way that they want if they can get 51 votes. And then at the very end, Leader McConnell would sort of swoop in with the final amendment, which would be the Senate plan, and that would get the 51 votes, and then that's what would end up being debated on and passed. However, in this case, McConnell has not yet even told Senate Republicans what that final plan is going to be. Apparently, discussions are still taking place because we know that they haven't come up with any plan so far that has the votes it needs to pass. And that makes some Republicans very reluctant to vote to move to this debate when they have no idea at the end of the day what it is they're going to be voting on. Other Republicans say, look, let's just start discussing it. We'll put everything on the table, and then you can see what you like, kind of like a buffet.
When you talk about unlimited amendments, though, or put everything on the table, that means that the debate could go on for a very, very long time, I presume.
Right. It could go on for days, and you have Democrats as well as Republicans who can offer up their own amendments. And then if they do get that far, Democrats then have a decision to make. Do they offer up amendments that they think could improve the House plan, or do they do whatever they can to make that plan less palatable to Senate Republicans to make sure that Republicans don't vote yes at the end of the day? So there's some really crazy political calculus going on both sides of the aisle right now.
And so just to add another little element of drama, Senator John McCain is returning to Washington just days after he revealed that he is battling brain cancer. He has not indicated which way he will vote, but the president tweeted this morning about him, and he wrote, so great that John McCain is coming back to vote. Brave American hero. Thank you, John. He certainly sounds pleased to hear that McCain is returning. Can we read anything into that?
Well, it's fascinating because, after all, the president said that he did not consider John McCain a hero. You'll recall, because McCain had been captured in Vietnam, and he said he only liked people who were not captured. And recently, White House aides have had a chance to sort of reverse that. They've been asked multiple times by reporters, does President Trump regret what he said about John McCain? Does he feel differently? And each time, White House aides have hedged. So it is notable that the president appears to have changed his position on John McCain's heroism. I think that the cake is probably baked when it comes to their relationship, and we really don't know what McCain will do today. In the past, he has been supportive of moving to debate on a health care plan, but in this situation where we don't know what the health care plan is, will that change his decision? Senate Republicans are going to be able to have a lunchtime meeting before this vote takes place. So it's possible that Senator McConnell will lay out the plan for them then, and it's something that enough of them will be comfortable with. But the problem is that he can only afford to lose 2 Republicans, and there are far more than 2 who have expressed concerns about this process.
So who will you be watching besides McCain? Who else?
Well, you'll be watching Senator Susan Collins. She is almost surely a no. She has said all along that she feels that the plan that Republicans have come up with and the way they've gone about it is the wrong approach. Rand Paul is another one who, could very well be a no, depending on what he hears from Mitch McConnell. He says he's waiting to hear. But then there are a number of others. First of all, you've got moderate Republicans like Dean Heller of Nevada, Rob Portman of Ohio, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia, who all have concerns that any of the Republican plans that have been put forward so far slash Medicaid so deeply that they think it would be devastating to the vulnerable in their states. So that you've got to watch all of them. And then you have other Republicans, not necessarily moderates, who just have a big problem with this process. People like Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, or Mike Lee of Utah, or Jerry Moran of Kansas. They've all said that they really don't like the way that this has played out, with no hearings, with no chance to really take a look at the numbers of the final plan that they'd be discussing. And so any one of them could turn on this process as well. And that's what makes today such a wild card. And that's what is so complicated about the fact that the White House is trying to pressure some of these senators to vote yes, and finding that it has limited influence over these Republican senators because the Republican plan is about as unpopular as Congress is right now. Obamacare, according to the polling, is far more popular. And so you don't see that these holdouts have a lot of incentive to change their positions.
Right. It's bound to be a very interesting afternoon. Nancy Cordes on Capitol Hill for us. Thank you so much, Nancy.
You're welcome, Anne Marie.